What's going on, guys? So today I want to talk to you guys about building the base, my phase one training program. Not going to make this video super long. Well, it might be longer than I just want to educate along the way and kind of break down my phase one, which is going to be about 4 to 6 weeks. I may push it to about 8 weeks depending on how I'm feeling. So I have a few goals that I want to accomplish with this program during this 4 potentially 8 week phase. Number one, these are in no particular order, by the way, just literally just what I want to do. Number one, I want to lose weight. Currently, I'm sitting at around I, the last week and a half, weekish, fluctuating between 206.8 to about 210-ish. Um, Started about 2020, early 2020, I started. So about almost 4 years, almost 4 years. Once I get to 200, it'll be 150 pounds lost. So that's kind of that goal with that. But that's like a off to the distance, like it's going to happen goal. But now I'm making it more of the forefront right now because of this vertical jump journey. So it's around 200 to start and then build up that knee strength again. Hurt my knee over the summer and it's been on and off really painful here and there, and it's just starting to consistently feel better, but there's still some pain associated with it. But so I'm really going to methodically take a methodical approach, just getting through and building up the strength of that knee, and making sure I can be explosive off of it. So that's two. And then the third factor of this program is, if you've been following my YouTube videos for the last 6-ish weeks or so, I'm doing everything rotational explosiveness and also vertical jump explosiveness. Get explosive, get noticed. That's what this series name is. It's going to be a long, drawn out series because I want to educate you guys on rotational power and vertical jump training. So, and I've never done anything in depth like this before. So, all right, with that all out of the way, let's go through the program. So this is how we program for our athletes at Revolution Sports Performance. Now, this is a reflection of what I do for myself right here. This is what I think is going to give me the best chance at success, given what I know what my body can do. So that's why I have these set up the way I do. And when I go through the workout, you'll kind of see how my crazy, chaotic brain structures things. So we're going with our prehab first. Nothing too crazy with the prehab. What we do with prehab is at RSP, we go through an evaluation process. I know my hips and shoulder are a really big issue for me. And what I mean by that is I have poor external rotation of my shoulder and I have poor internal rotation of my shoulder. And I also have poor internal and external rotation of my hips, more so of the internal rotation aspect. So this prehab is designed to help me move better, and over the course of time, as I consistently do this every single day before I would do my training session, I'm hoping to have more expanded ranges of motion over the course of time. I'm not looking for 20, 30 degrees of increased range of motion. That's going to be too much too fast. I want to make sure I am slowly getting a little bit better each time. After every single phase, I'll see what my range of motions are, and then I can adjust accordingly as I continue on the journey. That's kind of the plan with that. All right, so the odd days, 1, 3, and day number 5. 1, 3, and 5, these days are specifically the same, and they're all focused more on mobility, movement, and building up strength where I'm not strong at. Well, all 5 days are like that, but specifically 1, 3, and 5 are more focused on my lower body, my knee, and then days 2 and 4 are focused on my upper body. But still, there's mobility included in all these days, more so on day 1, 3, and 5, with making sure my knee is building up strength. So let's walk through day number 1, 3, and 5, but I'll just show you day number 1. Like I said earlier, if you've been following any of my Instagram reels at Garrett Harder, or our Instagram reels at Revolution Sports Performance at Rev_SP. I'll put both those up on the screen right there. You'll see how important a dynamic warm-up is for your sports performance. And pretty much not even just athletes, but anybody, before you train, you should do some type of dynamic warm-up. I won't go into too many details about why I'm doing each individual exercise, but We want to make sure we raise core body temperature. We get a little bit more range of motion on top of what we've already done with our prehab, and then just getting the heart rate up elevated slightly, and it, working on some things. I like to put things in there that I'm not really good at. Upper body strength, not very good at, and mobility, I'm not very good at right here. So I got to kind of do all these through dynamic movements, and then also controlling my body as well right here. So I like to put that in there to kind of start the process of bridging some of those gaps where I'm weak at. Now let's go to the core. So I like to work from top down when I'm doing something methodical like this. There's other ways to do it. I just find for me, this is what works best, and it's worked best in the past for who I've programmed for as well too. It's not best, sorry. It's worked really well for some of the kids I've worked with years ago in the past, and I also stay along with my own training for me personally this way. So right here I'm doing core top down. So the focus on my core for the building phase, I'm not going to go into each individual exercise right here, but the focus of the core during the building phase for me is to make sure that I'm utilizing the ground and using the ground reaction forces, like gripping the ground with my feet. I'll do a lot of these core exercises, if not all of them, barefoot. That way I'm feeling the ground, being in touch with the ground. That way I can produce force as I get into the force phase building portion of my training program, that I am used to that. My feet have been built up enough for that, if that makes sense. And then that will transfer into maintaining a stiff core pillar where I can transfer force around. And then you'll see having a strong, stiff core pillar is going to be vital when I do more dynamic core exercises, like rotational core exercises. And you'll see that since I've spent a lot of time building up that base, I can produce force ridiculously crazy as I move forward in this program. So then we go to the hips. I'm really not good with my hips, so we know vertical jump. There's something we call, I'm not going to go dive too into the weeds with this, but there's something called the limb arc model, and where we go internal, external, whatever, and external, internal, external, and producing force, absorbing force, etc. And I think these 3 exercises will help me achieve that right now, because there's some of the things I'm lacking. So we'll see how that goes, and I can always adjust and retest and test as needed. And that's the beautiful thing about doing your own program and actually tracking a program and logging your results after each training session, because you can compare data against the other ones and make adjustments as needed. Knee series, like I said, it's a lot of strengthening, single leg step downs, reverse sled walks, limiting some range of motion, and also with the step downs, I'm not going to go with a high box to start, going to go with a smaller box, and then reverse sled walks, limiting that range of motion, getting that knee strengthening and the quad stronger, and then also seated tibial cars. And there's one more thing I got to add into here, is I need to do Nordics as well. I need to add that in here. So I'm going to put that in there. Nordic. Forgot to do all that. There we go. Put that in there. I'll make the adjustment to the other days as well too. What's this? There we go. Hopefully that's in all of the other days. And for day 1, I'll have to add for day 3 as well too. All right, and then tibial cars, and then going down to foot and ankle series. I'm just making sure the feet and ankles are actually one of the most important aspects of being powerful, is because everything starts from the ground up. And if we have energy leaks, even at the most basic form, foot and ankle, or the basic areas, foot and ankle, then we're not going to be efficient. So we have to make sure we train to be efficient. That's day 1, 3, and 5. Now we're going to go to day 2, which is more strength oriented for my upper body, and day 2 and 4 are the same. So dynamic warm up, same thing with the core, really utilizing the ground, and the offset suitcase carries, heavier dumbbell, or if you're really strong, you can go heavy and heavy, slightly offset, and just really focus on maintaining that vertical posture with the heavy kettlebell up top and then the heavy dumbbell down below. So that helps a lot. But you're going to get a lot of that anti-flexion with your torso if you are offset even more. That way we have to stabilize. If we have a heavier dumbbell than kettlebell up top, it's going to want to pull us down, and we got to come up this way. And I don't know why that little thumb up thing popped up. That was crazy. After that, we got TRX series, just getting the upper body still moving and getting ready, preparing myself. It's all the beginning of the workouts are preparing myself for the main training block portions, which is going to be my chest and back for this. Push-ups, I'm doing everything in sets of 5, so 10 sets of 5 reps. I really find that way since I have I'm not super strong in the upper body, but I do have a baseline of strength. I will revisit some portions of eccentric training, but I'm gonna test out a different theory for myself. So once we get to that portion, I'll explain it. But 10 sets of 5, I'm gonna be doing alternating bench presses and push-ups, and then standing versus rack shoulder cars. The push-ups, just want to get stronger at push-ups, just for me only. That's just a personal goal of mine. And then also dumbbell alternating bench presses. I really like this because one, you're getting strength in your arm unilaterally, which means one limb. So either it's a unilateral leg movement or a unilateral arm movement. And if you're using 2 arms or 2 legs, then it's bilateral, meaning 2. So I really like that because what I just explained, you have stability in the shoulder, elbow, and wrist. And then also it's a reciprocating pattern. So as we're coming down with the dumbbell, and then we press up with the other one, we are stabilizing our spine and our core as we're doing this to actually move weight around it. So that's another effect of doing this exercise. I like adding in double whammies in a sense because if I'm going to get some strength in my upper body, might as well add some core to it too. And then back, we have machine 2-arm rows. I am doing just 2. I want to get as strong as I can in the back. Maintaining a very strong posterior side of your body sets us up for a really good platform to be very strong anteriorly, which means in the front. And then GHR reverse hypers, really isolating that low back. Those are rector muscles, rector spinae muscles, because remember, energy is transferred from the ground all the way up, and that low back is in that chain. It comes just before the torso. That low back's part of our core, and the low back, you need to have it strong if you're trying to transfer force efficiently without hurting your back and maintaining a healthy career. And then also in everyday life too, having a strong lower back is good for you. And then our last couple blocks right here, we have I like to call these not building up the base, but more so filling in the gaps. Arnold presses, upper body strength, and I'm not going to have a support behind me. I'm going to try to maintain that vertical posture as best as I can. And then dumbbell overhead tricep extensions. Like I said, everything is there for a reason. Now, this is not going to get me the hugest triceps in the world. There will be some hypertrophy aspects to this, but I'm more so looking for that extreme range of motion, elbow flexion, bent all the way, and then all the way to extension with an extreme range of motion to build up that resiliency in that elbow joint. And in theory, in my brain, how this is setting up for me in the future is when I move further along and get more explosive, it's just another layer of protection and strength for my triceps to be explosive from. And then block G and H, we have Zodeman curls and lateral raises. Zodeman curls, really love those for pronation supination. Not only isolating the biceps, but you're getting multifaceted approach to your arm training with that, which I really like and enjoy. And then lateral raises, I've been doing them arms overhead and seeing a lot of great results with that, with my shoulder stability and strength as well. And then at the end, just down regulating myself after a harder workout, a more tough, challenging workout, because the 10 sets of 5, you're trying to accumulate tonnage. So then you can look at every single day you do this exercise, every Tuesday and Thursday, I can compare, am I accumulating my tonnage if I'm moving up in the complete total volume of each thing. That's what I'm trying to push for. Like I said, I'm trying to lose weight, but also maintain strength. So I gotta really push the envelope on that. And then just down regulating myself with dumbbell Jefferson curls and segmented cat camels with also, so that's pretty much there to make me feel better, to loosen me up, and to just make sure I have a healthy spine. That way I can produce force without being so stiff and rigid 24/7 all the time, which again, I know it's counterproductive what I just said with what I want to do with my core, but when we're not doing movements that we need to be stiff and rigid with to produce force, we want to make sure we're not staying in that state of rigidity 24/7. So that is the program for the first minimum 4 weeks. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping to get through it in 6 weeks and then having some of that integrity built up, and hopefully some more weight lost, and then we'll move on to the next phase, which would be more force absorption phase, a more force absorption focus phase. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. From here on out now, I'm going to be taking you guys through my workouts and the inner workings of my mind, like why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I pivot and change things if I need to, or if I regress things and make them a little bit easier because I bit off more than I can chew, or if I need to progress things. So you'll kind of see that ebb and flow, that whole dichotomy between everything and why I'm doing the things I do. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit longer and it's more boring, but I think these videos need to be put in here so you guys can see the workings behind the scenes and why I'm doing what I'm doing.